to Echo. Now, this week, our weekly prayer theme is the word relationships. Now, a relationship is two things or two people that are connected in some way. So often, our relationships are based on something that we have in common. We have a relationship with the people in our school because we share the same school, with some people the same class. But that doesn't mean we have the same relationship as with our friends, who often we have loads in common with and loads of things we connect with. Once again, when we move back home, the relationship we have with our brothers and our sisters, and with our parents, and with our grandparents, and our aunts, and our uncles, and our neighbours is different, because we have different things in common again. When different things connect us, it creates a different kind of relationship. So the relationship that I have with my brothers is very kind of, classic brother. I like to take the mickey every now and again. I like to pull pranks on them. I like to sometimes call them funny names. But the relationship I have with my mum is very different. I like to give my mum a hug. I like to go and talk to her about important things. I like to ask her for advice. Some of the things I'd never do with my brothers necessarily, but I would with my mum. See, our relationships and our connections are all very different. And it reminds me a little bit of the story of the prodigal son. Now, hopefully, you will all have had a chance to read or hear this story this morning. But I'm just going to go over a few things a bit more. So did you notice that the father seemed like he had a very different relationship with both his sons? One of them was very good, very sensible, and always did what he was told. And the father had a relationship with him which was just, I love you, and I appreciate you. Whereas the relationship he had with his other son, the other son was greedy and a little bit lazy. He wanted all of the money that he was going to inherit when his father died. He wanted it now. He wanted to be able to spend his money and have a good time. And he didn't care about his father's feelings or his brother's feelings. He didn't care that he hadn't earned it. And his father had a slightly different relationship with him. But still, there was that one thing that united it. There was that love. And he gave him the money, didn't he? Now, the amazing thing is about some of these relationships is that they aren't easily broken. They take a lot of hard work and they take a lot of effort to build up. They're very hard to break. And even after the son wasted all the money, spent it all on parties and food and nice hotels and all this stuff that he didn't need, and ended up being poor and homeless, even then when he came home, intending on being a servant to his father instead of coming back as his son, intending to work his way back into his father's favour, that relationship shone through because the father was waiting and he ran to his son, he embraced his son, he held him tight and he got him brand new clothes. He set out a feast for him. He celebrated because his son was home again. Actually, in the story, when we read it straight from the Bible, it says, the father says, my son was dead and is alive again. That father's relationship with his son might have been different to the other son. There might have been little things he did differently, but the one thing that shone straight through was that love. And that's at the heart of every relationship we have. That form of love that we share for something or someone. The relationship with our friends is that friendship, that love of our friends, that love of spending time with them. The relationship we have with our parents is that love of our parents. We love them more than anything in the world, and that they love us in return. And our relationship with God is not at all unlike the one of the father and the prodigal son. For even when we do things wrong, even when we run away and waste everything that God has given us, even when we do possibly the worst things ever. When we return to God, that relationship is not broken. That relationship is not damaged. Because God is waiting for us to come back. So he can embrace us, so he can hold on to us tight and tell us that he loves us. And he can throw a party for our return. And he will say to us, my child was dead and is alive again. So what we're going to do is we're going to think about those relationships. We're going to think about the love that we have for people in our lives. So I want you to now take a moment to think of someone in your life who you love, who you have a strong relationship with. It could be a friendship, it could be a family member. It might be someone who you can go to for advice, or someone who, even on your saddest day, can put a smile on your face. Maybe it's someone sat in the room with you right now in your classroom. It might be someone from one of your groups outside of school, a dance group or a football team. It might be a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle. But whoever it is, I want you to think of that person now and think of the things that make you feel happy about them. Think of those things you love about their relationship. The way they make you laugh, the way they make you smile, the way they make you feel safe, the way they make you feel loved. And what I'd like you all to do is I'd like you to write a letter to that person. Because here's the one thing about relationships. The prodigal son didn't know how much his father really loved him. In fact, his entire way home, he was scared that his father would reject him, would throw him out, would say, no, you've wasted all my money. You've treated me awfully. And I wipe my hands of it. I'm done. No, you can go find someone else to get a job from. How much better would he have felt, do you think? How much less scared do you think he would have felt if he had received a letter from his father telling him how much he meant to him, how much he loved him, how much he would do for him? So I'd like you guys to write a letter to someone special in your life. And I want you to answer 3 questions. So question number 1, I'd like you to tell them what they do that makes you smile. Number 2, I'd like you to tell me what they do that makes you feel safe, that makes you feel like you can be yourself. And number 3, I want you to tell them one thing that you love about them, your favourite thing about them. Whether it be their jokes, or their dress sense, or the fact they like the same football team as you, whatever it is, tell them what your favourite thing about them is. I'd like you to write these letters, and at some point, give this letter to that person. Be it a friend, or a teacher, or a parent, or a brother or a sister, whoever it is. Let's take some time now to thank God for the relationships that we have, the amazing things that he gives us. Because the most amazing thing he's given us ever is other people. People who can share the world with. Because life would be pretty lonely if we had to do it alone. So take some time, thank God for someone, and then write them a letter and thank them for the amazing things they've done. One thing that makes you smile, one thing that makes you feel safe, and one thing that you love about them. Don't forget to give them this letter. And who knows, maybe today you will also receive a letter and realise things you never knew. Realise that someone thinks that you're amazing as well. I'm Chris, the High Peak Chaplain. God bless.